Okay, we're live.
Greetings and welcome to the April 20th, 2021 City of North Bend Council meeting. Thank you for attending tonight. On tonight's agenda, the first item up is, excuse me, let me go back. Can the clerk confirm the roll?
Mayor,
I can feel you, Susie.
all council members are present, Your Honor.
All council members are present. Thank you very much. I can just feel that look at me, like you're forgetting something.
Here.
Consent agenda. We have 8 items on tonight's consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? I got a motion by Mr. Gotthelf. Was that Ms. Miller? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Motion carries. It is unanimous. Next item on our agenda is citizen comments. If you are a member of the public and wish to speak on items not on tonight's agenda, please indicate in the chat box or *9 on your phone. And we will call on you and you'll have up to 3 minutes.
So far, don't see anyone.
Okay. Give just one more second here. Okay, moving on. Announcements, presentations, and appointments. This evening we have a proclamation about Earth Day, and I will try to be brief, but this is an important one to me and I think all of us. Office of the Mayor, proclamation. Whereas this year marks the 51st anniversary of the Earth Day movement that began when millions of people took to the streets on April 22nd, 1970 to protest the negative impacts of 150 years of industrial development. And whereas we continue to live through the COVID-19 pandemic, we are reminded of the extraordinary importance of maintaining a clean and healthy environment. And whereas the global theme for Earth Day 2021 is Restore the Earth, which focuses on natural processes, green technologies, and innovative thinking that can restore the world's ecosystems. And whereas this annual celebration is a reminder of the constant need for environmental activism, stewardship, commitments, and sustainability efforts for current and future generations. And whereas everyone must step forward and take action to create a positive environment, change to combat the global challenges. And whereas the city celebrates and supports Earth Day by implementing activities to engage our community's awareness and participation to restore the planet. Now, therefore, I, Rob McFarland, Mayor, do hereby proclaim Thursday, April 22nd, 2021 as Earth Day in the city of North Bend and encourage the community and businesses to use this day to celebrate the earth and to commit to creating a cleaner and healthier environment for better quality of life for current and future generations by planting a tree, gardening, picking up litter, recycling, conserving energy and water, or whatever else might apply. Thank you very much. And a special note in talking about Earth Day, I want to say also a big thank you to community members and city staff and others who turned out Sunday and Monday for our recycling event and litter pickup. We had a great turnout through those 2 days. I don't know what the ton amount of trash picked up, but I saw the photos of lots and lots of bags. And so a great event. Thank you, community, for taking part, taking care of your community. And with that, we will move to commission and committee reports. We will start with Community and Economic Development. Ms. Miller. You're muted.
Hold on, sorry about that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. CED committee met today at 3 o'clock. Virtually, both council members Rosen and Elwood joined me for an interesting number of conversations and Q&A. We were all in agreement in supporting with excitement the surrounding South Fork Landing Park funding. We discussed amendments to NBMC Master Plan Overlay District led by Rebecca. And finally, we discussed with a little further depth the form-based codes. Jesse spoke of some specifics with the FBC and brought us a member of King County Historical Preservation Committee to give us some insight. All in all, I felt it was informative, certainly helpful, and most appreciated.
Thank you. Mr. Godhealth, Finance and Administration.
Thank you. The Finance and Administration met April 6th at 4 p.m. through Microsoft Teams Virtual. We talked about the sewer revenue bond ordinance, which I think will be coming forward, and the first quarter budget adjustment. It was a rousing, fun opportunity for all.
Thank you. Would you like to go ahead with Eastside Fire and Rescue report or wait?
Sure. What the heck? So the Eastside Board, I can't speak. The Eastside Fire and Rescue Board directors met the regular meeting April 8th through a virtual meeting, again through Teams. Biggest thing we approved was the write-off request. There was a discussion about the COVID-19 vaccination operations and the site that we set up with collaboration between the city of Snoqualmie Tri, city of Issaquah, and city of Sammamish. And so they have opened the mass vaccination site. So it's been a real successful situation. The only thing right now that came up was a conversation. We were using the Johnson & Johnson vaccine to do the at-risk seniors that we were going to their homes. When they basically pushed that off, we've decided to move them into either, I think they're getting Moderna, so we'll have to go back to them for a second shot as opposed to trying to hit them once and get them done. The other conversation we talked about is that we signed and executed a $300K agreement to finish by June 28th, the PFAS report that we're putting together. The previous scope of working is being closed over the next 2 weeks. The executive committee requested the city of Issaquah to continue to work with Geosyntac water model to ensure proper validation of model for future mitigation plans. No new updates were on regarding the regulations, and that's all we discussed. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Cullen, Public Health and Safety.
Public Health and Safety update. We met via Microsoft Teams on April 13th at 4. The police update, we discussed the ordinance amending the North Bend Municipal Code Title IX relating to the city's criminal code. This was based on a Washington Supreme Court decision in the case of State versus Blake, which determined that a person must knowingly possess drug paraphernalia to be guilty of a misdemeanor. Before this determination, possession was considered a misdemeanor, whether or not the person knowingly had possession. Also, Seattle King County Public Health, I don't want to steal this from you, Nick, but I'm gonna. Recently recognized Snoqualmie North Bend police officer Austin Gutwine for saving the life of a North Bend resident in a business back in January. He was first on the scene and found the man unconscious with no pulse. He used his basic life skills to successfully defibrillate and give chest compressions before Eastside Fire and Rescue arrived. He is a true lifesaver, and we thank you for your service, sir. For the fire update, EFR continues with their COVID-19 vaccination efforts. They have been vaccinating homebound individuals and helping the Snoqualmie tribe with their mass vaccination sites in Issaquah and Sammamish. They are doing a great job at tackling this pandemic. And thank you to the Snoqualmie tribe for helping our community. That's
Thank you.
much it.
Thank you. Mr. Lauenbach, Transportation and Public Works.
Thank you, Your Honor. We last met on March 30th, discussed several items concerning sidewalk repair. We also discussed, sorry about the background noise. We also discussed the progress on a couple of our major construction projects. And we have an update on some of the preparations for our new phase in the wastewater treatment plant. Our next meeting will be April 29th at 4 p.m.
I've never heard so many critics of your report before.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Planning Commission, Parks Commission, Economic Development. Rebecca, are you giving that report this evening?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
The Planning Commission at their April 8th meeting held a public hearing and deliberated on and provided a recommendation on the approved amendments to the North Bend Municipal Code related to the overlay districts, which was mentioned by Ms. Miller because it also went to the committee today. That followed an introduction discussion that took place from the Planning Commission on March 25th. At the April 22nd meeting this Thursday, staff will introduce to the Planning Commission a draft development agreement discussing increased height limit for a senior housing project on North Bend Way in exchange for the developer providing permanent affordable housing. The proposal was earlier reviewed by the Community and Economic Development Council Committee in October 2020, who had recommended that the development agreement for the project be taken to the Planning Commission and through the public process for consideration and recommendation to the Council. The Parks Commission met on March 24th and discussed strategic planning for pursuing future park projects, including grants, potential project partners, and future recommendations to Council for funding based on the Parks Capital Facilities Plan. The Parks Commission provided a recommendation to pursue a trail project along the left bank levee of the South Fork Snoqualmie River, the property of which is owned by the city. The project will provide connection between the planned Tollgate Farm and Downtown Trail and Bendigo Boulevard, forming a link in the eventual planned trail connection between the Snoqualmie Valley Trail and Tennant Trailhead Park. The Parks Commission also provided review and recommendation on conceptual plans for the Tollgate Farm to Downtown Trail, which will be constructed later this year. The Parks Commission won't meet in April. At their May meeting, the Parks Commission will be touring various city parks to discuss potential park projects and maintenance needs for considering amendments to the Parks Capital Facility Plan and potential recommendations for use of the annual park maintenance budget. The Economic Development Commission met on March 23rd and discussed the 2018 economic profile in relation to what should be included in the Economic Development Plan, and where more research is needed, with an emphasis on changes due to COVID. The Commission began work on a SWOT analysis exercise on economic opportunities. At the April 27th meeting, the Commission will continue the SWOT exercise and discuss outdoor recreation related data. Thank you.
Thank you. Great report. Before we move on to regional committees, Mr. Garcia, anything from Council of the Whole work studies you wanted to discuss?
Well, we had a you had a work study April 6th after our regular meeting where we discussed water rates, which my understanding will be coming as a first reading and public hearing at our next meeting, and then the final in May. So we'll get that looked up and you know, I don't like this mayor pro tem. I never get to see this stuff. It always goes to committees and then it just whips right by me somehow. I don't know how this has worked out. So I'm looking forward to seeing that for myself.
Good.
And then our next, our work study for this next Tuesday is canceled because we already had it for the timing of the water rate study.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Appreciate that. Regional committees. Does any council member have a regional committee they'd like to report on? Mr. Garcia, I saw you first.
Okay. So the Snoqualmie Valley Watershed Forum met on March 17th at 3:30 virtual meeting. The big kind of presentation this time was a woody debris project along the Tolt. And they actually had a great presentation of helicopters flying these trees up and placing them along to create the habitat again. And then we had a conversation about, well, what happens if they wash down into the farms? Who's responsible for that? So anyways, continued good work there. Our next meeting will be the third Wednesday in May.
Thank you very much. Ms. Colin, did I see your hand?
You did. Thank you, Mayor. Today, the Sound City Associations had an update at 10 a.m. via Zoom. We're talking specifically about COVID-related items. King County is seeing a 6.5% uptick in COVID cases. The highest level currently is in Federal Way at 12%. On May 5th, they will evaluate if the county needs to go back to phase 2. Currently, 34% of adults are fully vaccinated in King County and 51% are partially vaccinated. However, the vaccine supply for King County is not up to par. They currently have 131 doses available, and that includes both doses needed. And they're finding that King County residents are driving to different counties to partake in their mass vaccination sites. 30% of Moses Lake's vaccines were given to King County residents, and 50% of Seattle residents hopped the ferry to get vaccinated in Bainbridge last week. But they're hopeful that we will be up to 70 to 90% vaccinated by July, which looks good for Seafair and other summer events.
Thank you very much. Mr. Loudback, I think I saw your hand.
Yes, the SCA PIC committee met on the 14th of April. On the docket was the Best Starts for Kids update. That will be coming to us in August. It's a 74.5% increase renewal over the previous assessment. It'll be in at about 19 cents per thousand. The solid waste rates were discussed at some length, and the big discussion point was, do they want to bill on a biannual basis at 10.5% or annually at a 4.5% increase? And a lot of the comments at the PIC meeting were to ask them to do the annual increase at 4.5 rather than the 10.5 biennially. And there was also discussion about nutrient loading in the Puget Sound and what these various efforts will be to try and control that. And there's more to come on that. It may be impacting home septic systems as well as anybody who's processing wastewater, which would obviously impact us. That was it, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Did I miss anyone? Seeing none, we will move on to Mayor, Council, and Administrator concerns and initiatives. Back to the top of the order, Ms. Miller. You're first.
I just gonna wish everybody a happy and safe day. We have to keep vigilant, everybody.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gotthelf.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Ms. Cullen.
I participated in the Earth Day event for our city picking up trash, and I was surprisingly pleased with how good it made me feel. And I encourage everyone in the future to do it if they can, because it felt really good.
Thank you very much. Yes, I enjoyed it too. Mr. Loudenbeck.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Rosen.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Elwood.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Garcia.
Well, I've got a couple things. I too would like to thank everybody that participated in the cleanup. It's a good event, and I'm proud of everybody for pitching in and helping our community. Speaking of cleanup, if you're a parent at one of our local elementary schools and you feel that our schools are lagging behind on maintenance and cleanup, please write your school board members and let them know that. It's getting to be quite disparaging, the difference between the way the North Bend schools are being kept up and maybe some of the other schools in our district. And lastly, I'd just like to remind everybody that your Seattle Mariners tied for first place in the AL. Other people's teams, maybe not as much. Everybody stay safe, stay vigilant, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, take care of your neighbors.
Another thing I don't follow, I think we're one game in, huh? So we're tied for first. Mr. Miller, anything for the administration?
Yeah, just a bit of good news. I put an MOU on the mayor's desk today for the Wyndham Hotel. They're submitting plans on Friday, And that is moving forward.
Good. All right. Thank you very much. Few items for the public at large, just to keep aware. The city will host a special recycling event this Saturday, April 24th from 9 to 3 p.m. Snoqualmie Middle School parking lot. This is a free event where you can recycle scrap metal, appliances, fluorescent bulbs, electronics, tires, batteries, clothing, household items, all in one location. For more information about this event, it's available on the community calendar on the city website. Also happening on Saturday is Drug Take Back Day, and that will be taking place at City Hall from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The public is encouraged to bring their expired, unwanted, or unused prescription medications for safe disposal. More information about this is also available on the community calendar on the city's website. This week, Acord Contractors has begun the 2021 sidewalk repair project in the Forester Woods neighborhood. This neighborhood was determined to be the highest priority area following a citywide sidewalk evaluation. Work will consist of removal of numerous street trees, stump grinding, and sidewalk driveway removal and replacement work, and is expected to be completed toward the end of June. Also, as a reminder, drivers may experience minor delays Monday through Friday on North Bend Way, east of downtown, in the coming weeks while the developer contract crews install a water main for the Cedar River Partners project. This installation work is being funded by the project's developer, and we anticipate your patience, and we appreciate your patience as you travel through this area. And also, reminder that Washington residents 16 ages and older are now eligible to receive their COVID-19 shots. I think you were hearing Ms. Cullen saying there's lots of activity out there for vaccination sites. So be aware of that, and more information about vaccine and how to find a vaccination location near you can be accessed again through the city's website in the news section. Click on the special COVID banner, get there quick. Finally, as was mentioned a little earlier, the April 27th City Council work study session has been canceled. So the next meeting of the council will be the first meeting in May, regular council meeting. And with that, if there's nothing further, I will point out that we had the great help of Miss Alex Kenyon this evening, and shows how efficient good legal counsel is for getting us through meetings in a good way.
This has been one of the best meetings I've ever been to.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
That was a bunch. Second. I think I got Mr. Godhealth, Mr. Garcia is the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposing? We're done. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody. Stay safe.